you always have to decide the size of your journal before you start making pages. So typically, when I am going to make my standard size traveler's notebook pages, I usually use paper. I usually make my own insert, and I usually use copy paper that I have tea stained or coffee stained. This is usually how I do it. I get an A4 and I just fold it in half this way, and then I cut it off at 8.5 or just a little bit less than 8.5 so that it sits between the cover. So that's one way. Now if I were to use a smaller size, what I would do is I would fold it in half as before, and then I would fold it in half one more time, make sure that they're, and then I would just cut here right in the middle, and then this would be the size of my journal, and I would make my journal cover to match. So this is 5 3/4 by 4 1/8, and that is, for me, that is a lovely size. And so I have about 20 sheets here, which means that I had 10 sheets of paper, which I halved and then halved again. So there's 10 to one side in the middle, and then 10 to the other side, which makes a total of 20. I think this is a lovely size. And for those who are a little bit picky, there is a tiny little bit of edge here sticking out, that if you line up all the papers on the inside, really there's not much of an edge. So as we said earlier, coming across, this is about 4 1/4 inches. So what I would do, 4 1/8 of an inch. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the cover to make it 4 1/4 inches wide by 5 7/8 high, I think. Or if you choose to make it flush, you can go ahead and do that. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out what I'm going to do for the front cover. So this is basically just by eye. This is what you love, what looks good to you. So this is option number 1, and that'll be the inside. I like this one. Or you can do the other way around. This will be the outside, and that'll be the inside. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is this beautiful paper. So that could be the front cover, and then when you open it up, this is the inside cover. I like this one a lot too. Option number 3 is this one. I thought this one was a little bit too pale for me. So that's the front cover, and that's the inside. Very similar, so you could really almost say that I got a Australian bark type of effect in my paper here. Or you can do that on the outside with this on the inside, and I think I like that one a little bit better. And last of all is this one on the outside. Love this paper with this on the inside, which I really do love. Or you can do it on the other way. So this is the outside and this is the inside. I think for this one what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this to be one of my booklet covers, and I have another pile here, and I think I am going to choose this one. This one's not been organized as nicely. I'm going to choose this one to be maybe down here. This one to be my cover. That's the inside, nice and green. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these. So if you can see here, I've cut the covers so that there is a quarter of an inch there's a quarter of an inch extra. So all you need to do is move that quarter of an inch and distribute it so it's even between the top and the bottom. If you are the kind of person who likes them flush, the covers flush with their pages, go ahead and do that. But I like to have just a little bit of extra on the cover, and so that's how I've cut mine. So then what you need to do is bind this. Now you can bind one of many ways. You can staple, you can do a pamphlet stitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to do a quick stitch down the center.